Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm giving you 5 tips that don't involve changing what you're eating at all, but will start to give you results in terms of weight loss. This is something I've experimented with before, so I know that it works, and I know exercise physiologists and experts who believe in these things that I'm going to tell you. And some of it's common sense and some of it is not so common sense, or maybe you just need a reminder. So I'm going to give you those 5 things. Okay? Doesn't involve changing your food whatsoever. Number 1, track everything. Track your food. Use MyFitnessPal. It's an absolutely free tracker. It looks like this. Yeah. So, do that because you may not know how much you're eating. Like, you may just be blindly going out there, and 9 times out of 10 I see, like, girls especially, they're not eating enough food. They're just not eating enough food. Their nutrient timing is off, but that's another video about nutrient timing. But just track. It's going to give you that mindfulness to be like, oh, I skipped breakfast today and I totally forgot. Some people, believe it or not, are like that. I always wake up hungry, and you might not know how many calories or grams of fat or grams of protein are in things. And when you're having a meal, the most satiating is going to be to have a combination of the 3 macronutrients, which is obviously protein, carbohydrates, and fat. So that's really what you want to go for. Obviously the healthy fats. Like I said, this video is not about changing your food. So just start there. Download MyFitnessPal. It's super simple. If you need an idea of how many calories you should be eating based on your goals, like let's say you want to lose 10 pounds, you want to lose 30 pounds, or you want to gain weight even, then you can go to another calculator. It's called, bear with me, it's called, I want to say Zuby. It's like some weird name. I know I have it in here. I have so many windows open on my phone. I don't know if you guys are like that. I'm going to link it below, but I believe it's called Zuby calculator. And you input your height, weight, your stats, and your goals, which is like if you want to lose like a certain percentage of body fat and things like that. So then you can get your baseline of calories, and you can also get your macronutrients. So that's kind of what you can monitor through MyFitnessPal. It's really easy, and like I resisted it so much, you guys, like so much. I was like, no. If anybody told me, oh, you need to track your calories, I'd be like, ugh, whatever. But even if you do it for a few weeks, at least you can see kind of where you're at, and then develop a meal plan based on what you had been doing. Like, it is really helpful. Like, I'm not saying you need to use it for the rest of your life, but like, just when you're starting fresh, it's a really good tool to use. And it has a search where you can look up how many calories are in things. Like the other day, I didn't know how many calories were in the Prosecco that I ordered at lunch. So I was able to look it up on MyFitnessPal, and some of the foods have a little green check mark next to them. That means, I guess, they're verified, so they're accurate. So that's the one I usually use. But anyway, yeah, that's number 1. Start tracking things. Number 2, take a multivitamin every day. Take a multivitamin if you're not already, because it is highly unlikely that you're getting all of the micronutrients that you need for your body to perform at its best just through your diet solely. Agriculture has changed so much over the years, and even if you're getting all organic produce at like the best that money can buy, it still is highly unlikely that you're getting all those micronutrients, just because you would have to eat so much food, like such a huge volume of food to get those micronutrients. So I highly recommend taking multivitamin. It's really easy. You can get them anywhere. The one that I use is actually a powder, and it's this. It's Greens Advanced Multi Wild Berry Superfood. I got this on Amazon. I don't remember how much it costs. I think maybe $35 or something. But it's pretty tasty. I just put a scoop in some water and then I put it in my shaker, shake it up, and just pound it. You can take this up to twice a day. This one has like a lot of extras in it, which isn't necessarily like I don't think you need it, but it makes me feel good. It's got apple fiber in it. It's got prebiotics and probiotics. It has milk thistle, which is good for like I want to say detoxifying your liver, but don't quote me on that. But it's it's got a good B complex. You just want to make sure that you have your bases covered as far as the alphabet of vitamins. So do that. Start taking a multi. I really think it's going to help with your energy levels, and also I highly recommend you take vitamin B12 if you struggle with energy. And one of the reasons you might be struggling with energy is you might not be eating enough, and you might not be sleeping enough, and there's other things too, stress. But B12 I've found very helpful. I take a tablet that it dissolves on my tongue. It's pretty tasty, and again, you can find that anywhere at the grocery store or whatever. So that's number 2. Number 3, increase your exercise. Sounds simple, but like you don't have to go from being completely sedentary, at a desk job to running 5 miles every day. Like no, you don't need to. Like get yourself a Fitbit tracker, or I have a Garmin watch that I really like because it has a GPS, so when I go for a run, it does track everything for me. And some Fitbits do too, I think, and like the Apple Watch and stuff. But just start moving more. Like that's why I find the tracker to be really helpful because when I had a desk job, I didn't realize how much I was not moving. Like the entire day would go by and I'd walk like maybe 3,000 steps, and that's like really not ideal. Like you can do more. You can definitely do more. So even if it's just to get up from your desk to go talk to somebody instead of sending like an IM or an email, like just start increasing. And if you're at a higher level where you feel like you're pretty active but you could do more, then maybe you're just doing cardio. Start adding some strength exercises, or maybe you're just doing strength exercises. Maybe try some high intensity interval training mixed in. So whatever you're currently doing, just try to kick it up one notch. Like it doesn't have to be a lot. It's much better to be consistent over time than to like have one really crazy intense workout per week. I personally believe that you can be so successful in losing weight just by walking, more, and getting out into nature is so good for you too. So if you have the opportunity to do that, like definitely do that. Okay, number 4, stop drinking alcohol for 1 month. I know this is a big ask, but it's a challenge. Challenge yourself to do this. And it's definitely tough for me. I mean, I like my tequila, I like my Prosecco, I like my red wine, but sometimes, like especially after the holidays, it's easy to kind of like forget how much we're drinking. Like one glass of wine after leads to another, and it's kind of like, alcohol is one of those things. It's not necessarily bad. It does lower your inhibitions, and it does affect your willpower. So you're more likely to eat foods that you wouldn't if you weren't drinking. So that's one reason. Another reason is it's a depressant, so it does slow down your metabolism for sure. A third reason is, it could just interfere with your training. And there's a lot of science coming out now that red wine's so good for you and it's great for heart health and everything. But I would say, like, if you're having an entire bottle of red wine to yourself at night, not that I'm judging, I'm just saying if that's preventing you from going to the gym the next morning, then I would say that working out helps your heart more than that bottle of wine. That's just my opinion. Also with alcohol, your body doesn't process it the same way it processes whole food. So and it's a toxin. It's a neurotoxin. Like that's what happens. It kind of like slows things down, slows down your brain, and like, yeah, it's fun and great, but your body needs to process the alcohol first and get it out of your system and move it through the liver and everything else. So when your body's doing that, it's taking the energy away from your body, going into your fat stores for fuel, which is what you want for fat loss. So basically it hinders fat loss is what I'm saying. So just try to stop drinking for a month. Like, even if you don't go through the entire month, don't beat yourself up about it and just quit. Like, one Saturday or one Sunday afternoon, watching football, if you have a couple beers, like, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Like, just keep going, just keep trying, just see how you feel, like, see how it affects you. So that's my number 4 tip. Take it or leave it. I think it really can be effective. Number 5, stop eating at least 2 hours before bedtime. So, for my late night eaters, which I can be one of those people. Like, in my household, my boyfriend trains at night, and sometimes he's not home till like 8 o'clock, and then we're not eating till 9, and that's okay for him. It doesn't bother him, but for me, that doesn't work for me. Like, I don't like going to bed on a full stomach. So there's a couple reasons why I think you should stop eating at least 2 hours before bedtime. First of all, I think that going to bed on an empty stomach can disrupt your sleep, because your body is then taking the focus to digest your food. And, when your body wants to go into a sleep mode, it wants to sleep. Like, it needs to actually work on, like, cleansing other things in your body, like your brain, which is a whole different thing. I read a book about it. It's really interesting. It kind of like does a house cleaning of your brain when you sleep. So that's why one of the many reasons why sleep is so important. But so I would just say, like, give your body the chance to digest your dinner first for at least 2 hours before you actually go to bed. The other reason is, like, if you're having a big meal at night, what are the chances that you're going to be like, oh, I just ate a huge, like, sandwich, or, like, a bunch of pizza. I better go to the gym right now. I better find a 24-hour gym and go to the gym. Or I better walk around the block. Like, what are the chances you're going to do that at night? There's a much greater chance you're going to do that, like, after breakfast or lunch. So, try to make your calories more so, like, towards the earlier part of the day. Like, they say, eat breakfast like a king and dinner like a pauper, something like that. I don't remember the phrase, but basically it's just like, try to load your calories toward the middle of the day. Nutrient timing is really important. I'll do a video on that, but try that. I think you'll be surprised at how effective that can be for losing weight. Like, you'd be surprised, like, how many times I've done that, where I went to bed with just a little twinge of hunger. And, like, I definitely could have ate, but I was like, no, you know what? I already brushed my teeth. I'm just going to go to bed. And when I woke up, like, my stomach felt really flat. So those are my 5 tips. To review, number 1, track your calories. Use the MyFitnessPal. It's absolutely free. Number 2, take a multivitamin. I showed you an example of that. Number 3, increase your exercise. Just one level. Number 4, try to stop drinking alcohol for 1 month. Number 5, stop eating at least 2 hours before bedtime. And that's it. Let me know if you have any success with those things. You can use one or all of them. But it's just nice to know that, like, you don't have to go crazy and be super restrictive in order to get results and to reach some goals. So I hope that helps you, and let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else you want me to talk about.